Okay,
Yes.
guess let's start then.
All right.
Um, Hi Jackie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Waiting at the airport to go back home during the holiday.
Okay. Thank you so much for accepting to do this interview today. And I have a few questions about your experience as an Asian American during the COVID period. So I guess let's start. My first question is during the pandemic, did you ever feel discriminated against?
Yeah, certainly. I remember once I was standing outside a grocery store back in March 2020 at the outbreak of COVID. There actually a white guy, a white folk saw me wearing a mask. Then he suddenly actually stepped way back and shouted, "Stay away from me, go back to China." I actually froze for a few seconds and feel like a bit super confused because then I realized I was discriminated for my appearance. It was so humiliating because it felt like I was a virus just by being there. I even saw him take out his phone and secretly try to capture a shot of me. There were actually several similar situations, but luckily I was never suffered from any physical violences. But definitely it was devastating back then to see all those news of hate crimes against the Asians in America just because of their looking.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. So do you think your experience related to being a Chinese American, um, or let's say, how do you think people see your identity?
Definitely. I mean, I was born here in the land of US and speak fluent English just like everyone else. But I sometimes do feel that people treat me differently just because how I look like, because
Mhm.
of my appearance. Just assume that I'm Chinese and a Chinese citizen and not part of them, even though we are host the same nationality and passport. It didn't really bother me at that much before the pandemic. After the pandemic, I could really, as well as after the incident, I couldn't stop feeling that everyone saw me just as a disease carrier, a threat to them. It just caused me to annoy so much. And why do I have to be seen as a foreigner when I'm out of the States and I'm no different from anyone else in the USA?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so sorry to hear that. But has the pandemic changed the way you think about being Asian American?
Um, I didn't see myself as Asian Americans that much before the pandemic. Before
Mhm.
the pandemic, I just feel I'm an American. I don't speak Mandarin. I can make friends with everyone. I don't really care about their background. I also assume that they don't care about mine. But now I no longer think this way. If they don't speak out loud, I know they probably have those stereotypical expectations of me deep inside. I have to get good grades, I have to be good at math, I have no feelings or some bullshit. Sorry about that. Some kind of crisis like COVID could easily make everyone more honest, I should say. And now I'm just too suspicious and anxious over everything.
Oh, so in other words, the COVID has changed your way of thinking about being American and caused you a lot of stress. I see. So here are the last question. Do you think Asian society has taken anti-Asian Asia hate seriously, like in the school, in the government, in the media, and around the community?
I don't know. I've seen people speaking out on social media to accuse us of extremists on my Instagram pages, on my friends, but that's it. I don't even think those mainstream media or schools care about it. As in, I still
Mhm.
do care about the white black issues. Just want us to be silent and avoid the topic. I didn't learn anything about Asian Americans from the history textbook. I don't think people really know who Vincent Chin is. If they
Mhm.
never know about the histories, they'll never understand why we were scapegoats again during the pandemic. The government also did nothing when people were being attacked on the street at the beginning. You also know about the Chinese virus, right?
Yeah,
Trump permitted people to be racist, literally himself. There it became somewhat under control thanks to documents like the 2019 hate crimes act being passed. But it didn't help much in my neighborhood, at least. They just started rising some paper and didn't really care about protecting us in real life. The government never really stand up for us when we are in danger.
I see. So the government didn't really help. Um, and that's why education and yeah, there are still a long way to go to stop
Personally, I agree with you.
anti-Asian crime. Okay, thank you so much for accepting the interview today. I hope um, you can feel much better after the interview. Sorry for making you to remember those bad memories.
No worries, no worries.
Okay. Thank you so much. So this is Jackie.
Thank
Um,
you so much, Jackson. Have a good day.
bye.